Of the miniature roses here. Little who, what, when, and where in Washington, D.C. on a September morning. It's September 17th, 2025. It is 8:29 in the morning, Eastern Daylight Time. And we're heading down to Lafayette Center where I'm going to get a CAT scan for imaging my lungs, checking for possible lung cancers. There's a routine screening once a year. Since I'm an ex-smoker, can't be too careful. My father managed to get to 89 without lung cancer, but eventually had it, and the treatment for it basically did him in. Eventually, took a while, but he passed at the age of 91 and change. Very long life. Grateful for that. Grateful he didn't lose his faculties, lost his ability to do stuff. Very weakened, but he managed to, soldier on for quite a while. I'm grateful for that. What else are we talking about? This is Harrowing. This is publishing arm for his legacy, and there's quite a bit of his material out here on Harrowings and different posts. I gather it up again and republish it because I need to keep it up close to the top. It really is my main focus. People out and about, lots of traffic. But they stopped for me, so that's good. The neighborhood is filled with lovely homes. This is part of really the bottom of Sheridan, Colorado, the interface with a neighborhood known as DuPont Circle. If you ever come to D.C., one of our gems along the way here is a Phillips collection, first museum dedicated exclusively to modern art in America. And we're coming up on the Phillips as we're walking down to the Lafayette Center to get that imaging done. What else do I want to tell you all about? It's good to have some of you joining us. Been musing a lot about what we can do with our technologies to fix the problems of the world and how we might do it expeditiously, most effectively, and efficiently. Because one thing I've noticed is human beings themselves are not very effective and efficient. We tend to be swallowed up by our own hubris and distracted easily and not very effective. Then again, some people are very effective. There are a lot of different people out here, and the folks who established the Phillips collection and keep it running are preserving our culture for us. Here we have a Seymour Lipton, sculpture called Ancestor, which always puts me in mind of the need we have collectively to be good ancestors, to think about the future and what we're leaving to it. Many science fiction writers talk about how one little thing changed in the past will have ripple effects into the future that'll just totally distort the timeline. And that's true of the present. Every little thing we do is kind of magic, has ripple effects into the future. And that's what I'm trying to do here, is leave a little mark. We'll leave a big mark. Studied history a good bit. Over there we have the Museum of the Cincinnati. There's officers who served with George Washington. Back behind me, a monument to Mahatma Gandhi. It's assassinated. I don't know if there's quite splash about his assassination that we have about the assassination of Charlie Kirk right now. See how long the news cycle lasts on this. It's interesting to me. Yesterday, September 16th, was the 2-year anniversary my attendance of a Patti Smith concert. I was kind of sick still, some respiratory stuff. I didn't dare take down Williamsburg, and I had to miss the euthanasia of Cassandra, who was 19 years old. And finally, there had come a time when she needed to go be set free from her mortal coil. She had gone on for much longer than anyone would have expected. 19 is a good run for a cat. 91 is a good run for a human. My father would follow her into death the following April 7th. So one of the things he commented on often and the visits I made to him between Cassandra's demise and the his own euthanasia, because that's basically what happened. They just increased morphine dosages and kept him on Versed as well to leave him calm and not seizing up as he was doing every so often when I came down and found him intubated on April 7th. But, you know, it was good to know that he was comfortable and sort of out of it. Played music for him because they say hearing is the last thing to go. His sister was able to be at his side and talk a little bit about his life and what a good person he was. I remember her recounting how he had once said, "It's hard to be me." And it is. It is hard to be incarnate for any of us. Something to think about as we go from dawn to dusk and cradle to grave, dusk to dawn again. I don't do a lot of night walking anymore. I used to do that sometimes, but lately I've decided that it's safer to keep in the bunker. And the bunker has serious security, so feel pretty safe there. Haven't had any trouble in the 15 years I've lived there. There's been some things in the courtyard on occasion, but we've got surveillance on that now, round the clock. And nobody bothers it much. I don't really bother finding out what might happen out there because my neighbors do the monitoring. And I try not to leave my neighbors in peace to the extent possible. If they wanted to know me better, they could, but it appears they don't. I think I'm interesting. I think everybody's interesting. That's why I like to do Harry's podcast. And if you'd like to be a guest, hit me up. I'm pretty free. I've got to do this doctor's appointment today, but after that, pretty open. I might do some walking, depending on the weather. It's supposed to rain later, maybe. Depends on whose weather forecast you listen to. My wife and I both have iPhones with the weather app on them, and they give us different reports. It's comical, I find. I don't know why. I should do a root cause analysis. I think we all should do root cause analysis on what we see and, compare our analyses and do a lot of, thinking before we jump to conclusions. Sometimes that's the only exercise we get is jumping to conclusions. Let's see how we doing on time. 8:37. Oh my. I have 8 minutes before I'm supposed to be at my destination. I believe it's floor 800, but I forget. I'll have to look that up before. So I'll be leaving you all shortly. Probably about another 8 minutes or less. We're at O Street, and I'm heading to a destination between M and L along 21st Street. Pretty straightforward. I'm lucky to have such good diagnostics facilities and access to some of the best doctors in the country. But to look after me, keep me among the living. I don't take any over-the-counter medications generally. I have some muscle relaxants recently prescribed for a shoulder issue I've been having. I haven't noticed that they have any real effect, but my shoulder doesn't feel too bad right now. So that's a good thing. And there's a bird. Just love birds. Little house sparrows everywhere, doing what they do. Dog urinating on the flowers there. There's some lantana growing, and you can see the evidence of the dog's passage, giving a signal to other dogs. Territorial. Something to think about, our territorial nature as human beings. Love splashing puddles too. Every time I do that, I think to myself, hey, you know, that's going to change everything just slightly. Slightly. Rearranging. This English ivy is an invasive species. I was pulling it out of Rock Creek Park. Something to think about there too. Invasive species. Look at it climbing up that tree. Some people like it, but it isn't native. It tends to choke out other things. And I suppose it's giving us oxygen, as plants will. All DNA manifestations. Pretty remarkable that we just found that out in recent times. Beautiful dogs. Dalmatian, hello. Couple of lines here. Private residence. Do not enter. It's a little Alfa Romeo up there, kind of old, kind of dirty. Been there forever. You can see the kinds of cars folks are running around. You can see where people are from. Got some visitors from Iowa, for instance. It's Marshall County, Iowa, from what I could tell about the license plate. Beautiful flowers. And we keep on walking. Anybody talking? Good. Federico Francia. I said, good. I don't know good to what. Let's see, Cosmic Sushi, Lucas Lambert, Polk, Federico Francia. I like good. The Bold Insight, John Neumann, David Gross, all joined. It's good to have you with me. It's another day in the bonus round. And as you can see, the other stars, the passing show, are making their way from dawn to dusk alongside us. Not bad news, actually, this morning. Doug Clifton and his significant other were killed in a motorcycle accident in Utah. A Bucks truck apparently crossed the center line, hit their motorcycle, and they were killed instantly. I'm glad they didn't suffer. But it's quite a loss to the community of Grateful Dead fans, jam band fans, as Doug was often guy front and center recording the show and putting it out there for everybody to enjoy. And anyway, Doug Clifton, we remember you. It's apparently yesterday. At some point, this happened. Most of us woke up to the news this morning. It's flooding the Facebook channels, coming in from many different sources about that loss. Yeah. We should be able to step off soon. We're at M Street. There's Lafayette Center right there. MedStar Health. What an industry. I think George Washington University is part of that system. University Hospital is just a little further down. But today I'm feeling pretty fit. I'm getting where I'm going. My blood pressure is usually spot on. Cholesterol levels are usually pretty good. Apparently, I have a little bit of an issue of hardening of the arteries, calcification. But yeah, They're getting better at replacement parts, so I could probably be kept going for a long time, potentially, provided I've got the money. And that's the thing, right? The profit motive. We really need free healthcare in America. And we don't do enough to demand it, I don't believe. Medicare for all, that kind of thing. Even it out and make sure that folks get the kind of care they need while we're here. Far too many people dying for lack of health care, for not wanting to take care of their problems. And also, of course, there's mental health issues, as we see out there in the press. This is our press, taking in the passing show, observing our fellow passengers as they make their way as well. So I'm going to wrap it up as I'm just about turning into my area for entering Lafayette Center 2, Building 2. There's Building 2. There it is. So if you joined us, thank you very much for being a part of this. Keep being the change you want to see in the world. It's nice to have had 7 others here. Send out those ripple effects. Be the change you want to see. Every cent spent is a vote for the kind of world we are co-creating. And that's that. And